Welcome to the Out on a Limb podcast. We are all interconnected to a greater web of consciousness. Our aim is to open your mind to a new world through having open-minded discussions about what we perceive our reality to be.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Out on a Limb podcast with your hosts, Will and Allison.
Hello.
We explained what we're doing and why Samantha's not with us in the first episode. So do watch Egypt episode 1. We're just doing a series of podcasts to talk about our Egypt adventure and everything that you might want to know if you're considering a trip there. So do watch number 1 first. We get into all of our itinerary.
Just a good
overview of
Yep.
of the whole itinerary, and now we're going to dive into a little bit of other things to consider, and I don't know, just things you may want to know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Starting with, let's talk about if you decide to go.
Oh, okay.
We are going to go again in December. If you're interested in joining us, you can follow along with these episodes, and you can also look on our Facebook page, and we'll also put it on YouTube.
Yep. We're formalizing the itinerary right now. We're trying to get with Abdullah, and we're going to get with Abdullah and formalize our itinerary so that we can get the best pricing and the best itinerary put together for those days. It may be again a little bit longer of a tour than what we did this round, because we might incorporate a few extra things. I don't want to give too much away just yet.
We're not sure.
Yeah, we're just not sure yet. So yeah.
But I'll tell you, it was so profound that while we were in the middle of our trip, I sat beside Abdullah. I said, "Look, are you booked for next Christmas? I feel like we need to come back." Now, this is from somebody who wasn't even going to ever go. I was not at all interested in going, but in March of this past year, I had this knowing that we were supposed to take a group. It ended up being profound for me as well. I had no expectation at all, and it was just life-changing.
Yep.
To the point that I feel like we need to take another group. I don't know exactly why or the details or what else we're going to be encountering or doing or experiencing, but we need to take another group. And in fact, for me, I felt like it was a pilgrimage. You know, some religions, I guess, take pilgrimage to Mecca or different places, but I felt like for humanity, it's almost important to take a pilgrimage to the birthplace of humanity. And with the origin story and all of the things that I understand about our galactic aspects, it makes sense to me that the birthplace of humanity in that whole area is critical to our understanding of ourselves. And so I found it to be very valuable, and I think even though it's cliche and you may say, I'm not interested in doing that, or I've seen it all on TV and in history books, it's just not the same until you put your feet on the ground.
Yeah, it's awe-inspiring. Yeah,
and I don't know what's happening, but lately there are more and more groups that are feeling this call to go, particularly to Egypt and other places. So if you decide to go with a group, these are some things to consider. Mm-hmm. Number 1, the guide. So if you trust your group leader, then you'll have faith that they're going to pick a good guide, but the guide will make or break your trip, especially if it's a spiritual trip. There are people who are Egyptologists, and you're going to get the status quo Egypt answer type of thing from, the historians. There are people who are more spiritually based, and you're going to get more of that understanding, and there are people who know both. And so I think it's important to have the person who knows both, which was Abdullah. We're not trying to push Abdullah, but I'm just saying he was fantastic because he could tell us all about the history of Egypt, and the kings and the queens and the pharaohs and how the whole thing worked, and the complex, how the mummification and the ceremony, all of that kind of stuff worked. He knew everything about it, all of it, but he also understood the extraterrestrial perspective. He understood the spiritual perspective and why some of these sites were so profound and important for people.
Well, to say that he understands
he understood it.
Yeah,
he didn't necessarily agree with it.
Right.
But he understood
But
it.
he entertained it and understood that, that's one perspective, and it's one,
Correct.
right, and that's the beauty in it. So yeah.
Right, he understood that it was one perspective.
And I think we didn't really touch on it on the first episode, but kind of his background. I mean, it's fascinating, his his lineage, I guess you could say. I did ask him at one point, I said, how long, like your family, your line, how long have they been here? And he said upwards of 300 years. And they've all been Egyptologists and tour guides and excavating sites and so forth. So he's very seeped in that process. His grandfather, we'll get into another episode, actually, he told us about something his grandfather found, and he showed us that. And so it's very interesting, the depth of the knowledge that he has. And he also has expressed too that when he was first, becoming a tour guide, he really didn't feel like that was really the path he really wanted to.
Well, and you shadow.
Shadow, right. Others, yeah. But
he wanted to be a chef.
He wanted to be a chef, right. He wanted to be a chef.
And his parents were appalled.
Right, that he wasn't.
You don't want to be in tourism? What do you mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But he said that one of the things that stuck out to me was that one of the moments that he was giving a tour, and it was gratis. It was just to a couple of people, and giving
just to practice.
Just to practice. That once he was like, okay, I'll go do this. But once he got in front of, say, one of these temples, this information just started flowing out. He didn't know exactly where all of this information was coming from. Well, I know, she knows, So that moment clicks, and you go realize how really profound this gentleman is, and so that's why there was such a deep connection with him. So and he would give us stories of when he was a child and playing there on the Giza complex around all the pyramids, playing soccer around them, or playing hide and seek in the pyramids. I mean, come on, So it's very interesting, and it's a very interesting lifestyle. He grew up there overlooking the pyramids. He still lives there looking over the pyramids. I mean, it's amazing. So yeah.
So it is important to know your guide, but also we consider ourselves kind of like the American coordinator.
Yeah.
So whoever
the back end,
whoever the coordinator is for your trip, you want to make sure that you're of the same mindset. Are you on a tour trip, like a tour group kind of trip, or are you on a spiritual pilgrimage type of thing? And what's the goal? Is there going to be channeling or information or time for meditation, or some people do regressions on site or energy work and things like that. So find out what all's included with that aspect, and if that's what you want or if that's not what you want. And then pricing, of course, you want to look at that, and what value are you getting for your money. Ask around people who have done it and get their opinion. But what we found is the group of people is critical. And you can't always control who all is going to be in the group, but if you trust the coordinator of it, then then they're energetically aligned, and you're going to get a good group of people that need to be together. We had planned to try to have 14. We only ended up with 10, and we found out that number was purposeful. So as much as we were trying to scramble to get 14 or whatever, it was purposeful that we had a smaller group, and it really was a nice, manageable group. Everybody got along. Everybody found joy and happiness and laughter in things, and they were very flexible. So it was just beautiful. All right, so the hotels that we stayed in, we coordinated that because we were this end coordinator. I asked him for something that was reasonable but very nice. So we're familiar with Hilton, so we ended up staying at the Hilton Pyramids Golf outside on the edge of Cairo. Which was amazing, lovely, within our price range. And then the Jolieville Hotel and Resort in Luxor, which Abdullah picked out. And apparently a lot of his groups stay there, so it must be pretty reasonable, and the meals are included and stuff like that. So you have a lot of options with hotels, and hotels are not very expensive. So if you're planning your own trip, you can do that too, and get pricing from like $60 to $75 a night. US that overlook the pyramids, for example. I can't speak to any of that. I would prefer to just have a guide to handle all of it for us. But the hotels are great. We were instructed not to use the water in the hotel, even though they have good filtration because they have a lot of tourists. They have good filtration, but they say best not to brush your teeth with the water in the hotel or to drink it. So we did use bottled water, and there was plenty of that to brush our teeth. The that leads into food and stuff.
Yep.
So not to eat anything that you didn't peel yourself.
Yep.
Or not to eat things that are not cooked, like raw fruits or vegetables, especially the cucumbers and the tomatoes, which look lovely, and they serve them at every meal. We did have 1 or 2 people in our group that did that, and they didn't have a stomach
They
problem.
didn't have any problem.
I did not eat any of that stuff, and I ended up with a stomach issue the very last day, but I understand that to be an energetic clearing, so that was purposeful. So really, it's probably, you know your own gastrointestinal system, and you know whether you tend to get sick or what to avoid. But it wasn't hard to avoid that stuff, and it wasn't like you felt deprived. There was plenty of good food. There were cooked vegetables and lots of meat.
Yes. I mean, there were plenty of options at every meal. So it wasn't like all you had was this and a vegetable. It was this, rice, vegetables.
Bread, potatoes.
Bread. I mean, and not talking bread like a slice of bread. These were homemade pitas out of a fire brick oven. I mean, they were, I could just eat those.
Oh, they were good.
And the interesting thing is we had one lady with us who has a gluten intolerance, and she sampled just to see if it was going to affect her, and she was eating those pitas pretty much daily because the wheat is different there than it is over here. So just again, a little side note on the types of meals. So everything is fresh. Everything is, it's not, it's grown right there. It's as fresh as it can be. So yeah.
A lot of lamb, which was
yep.
interesting because we don't eat a lot of lamb here in the States, I don't think. But a lot of lamb.
Lamb kebabs. So just the on the skewer, not chunks of lamb, but a minced lamb that's made into a what you want to call it, a kebab type of thing for a
But
skewer.
plenty of things if you're a vegetarian or
Yes.
vegan or something, plenty of things to eat other than that.
And not overly spicy, and some things had a little spice to them, but nothing overly spicy, so.
We always had the grape leaves and different type of hummus. I wasn't a huge fan of their hummus.
There's a bit more pasty and thick instead of
more
liquidy. Yeah.
tasting just like tahini type of thing. But with the
Baba
bread.
ganoush, yeah.
Baba ganoush, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
The hotels, the food, the water.
Yeah, I mean, back to the water. I mean, I remember at the Jolieville Hotel and Resort, there was an actual sticker on the window, on the mirror that said non-potable water, do not drink the
Oh,
water.
really?
But yeah,
I don't
it
remember
actually,
seeing that.
it was in the lower corner. So, they're, and again, bottled water is always in supply. I mean, Abdullah always has boxes of bottled water on the bus, so he's always handing them out to make sure we stay hydrated. And that's the other thing, is to be extremely hydrated while you're there, because even in the winter season that we were there, it's not extremely hot, but it's still very dry, and it's much drier than most of the places in the United States, especially on the East Coast. So yeah, I mean, it was not uncommon to drink 3 or 4 bottles of water a day. So.
Speaking of, talking about the weather and stuff, in what time you want to go, around, I think, November, December, maybe into January is their high season. And it's when the weather is really nice. It's probably anywhere from 71 to 75, depending upon if you're at Luxor or Cairo, in the daytime, and sunny, very little rain, very few clouds. And then maybe 50s in the morning.
Yeah.
So it was manageable. And it got warm sooner than like
Very
it would do
quick.
in the States. Like by 9 o'clock, it was already warm enough.
Yeah.
So
Light jacket.
a light jacket for sure, and a lot of pants. I had a lot of dresses, but I found that like when we rode the camel, I didn't want to have a dress on. Or if you're sitting around, sometimes you're sitting on the ground or in the sand or something, or you're sliding on your butt through one of the tombs or something. You do want to have enough pants. And you definitely want some scarves, especially on the Giza Plateau. Now, what's interesting is we were told you had to have a scarf on your head and your shoulders covered in the mosque and closed-toed shoes. But they actually don't make you take your shoes off anymore.
Put booties on.
You can put booties on them, or you can take your shoes off, in which case you would want socks. But you don't have to cover your head anymore. You do want to have like a shirt with sleeves.
I mean, you can do it. You can do it out of respect. I mean, but it's not mandated. Yes.
Yeah. But there were a lot of people without a scarf on their head.
Right.
But on the Giza Plateau, that wind is whipping, and
Sand's blowing.
Sand is blowing. So when we were on the camel ride, for example, if you didn't hear about that, watch video 1. You'd probably want to put something across your face. I wish I had done that. That was the one day I think I didn't wear a scarf. I wore one every day.
Yep.
And then on the back side of the pyramid, when you're out of the sun, it gets kind of chilly. So yeah, that's for clothing. 2 pairs of shoes are good, like a pair of sneakers for walking and stuff, or hiking, light hiking boots, not something too heavy. I had sandals, but
I mean, I brought 1 pair of shoes, and it was a pair of Merrill. They call them water shoes, but I actually wear them as daily walkers, and they were perfect. They were light enough to where they were comfortable, and they were airy enough to, if my feet would sweat, they wouldn't sweat. So they were perfect. I wouldn't go with a traditional hiking boot. Maybe like many people had tennis shoes, and that was perfectly fine, perfectly comfortable. Yeah.
But everybody kept saying sandals when I'd watch videos and stuff. So I had sandals that were Skechers, stretchy sandals that just slipped on, that didn't have buckles or anything, right? But my toes were exposed on the sides of my shoe. My toes, I mean, of course they got filthy. And I knew that would happen, but I thought that was kind of the point, that the sand could just come and go. But I don't know. I don't know if I would do that again. No. But my sneakers weren't very attractive, and I kind of wanted to look decent. I didn't want to look. The sneakers that I have are purple.
Yeah.
They don't match much.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll rethink the shoes.
And we're all about transparency here on Out on a Limb. We've shared some of our deep secrets here.
Don't tell a secret about me.
I don't even know.
What are you going to say?
I don't know. I'm going to talk about me.
Oh, okay, go for it.
I had packed what I thought was a reasonable amount of clothing. No.
You're the worst packer. You really are.
I had plenty of pants. I didn't have enough shirts. I literally.
When you got on day 3 of the same shirt, I'm like, dude, come on.
I had a shirt that I think by the end of the journey had at least 4 days worth of use on it. Hey, it was fine. It didn't stink.
You can wash stuff in your hotel if you want. And one guy said that the hotel said they would wash your clothing for you for the equivalent of 50 cents a piece.
Right. It's not expensive. Now I understand what I brought more long sleeve stuff than I had short sleeve stuff, and I could have really used some short sleeve stuff. But it's, hey, it's a lesson. It's a learn.
Right.
Learn. And
be
again,
so much more prepared.
we'll be the example again for the next crew that goes. We'll be able to express that to them and say, here's what we packed, and here's what we found worked and didn't work. So
I did pretty darn good. I wore
you
just
did.
about everything. I had like 3 shirts left.
I will say, out of everyone that was on our trip,
we won that award.
We won the award of the smallest suitcases per person for the trip, and being able to pack the most into those suitcases for the trip.
We each had 1 carry-on suitcase.
Hard side carry-on
We did
suitcase.
not check any bags.
Nope.
Which I think I would probably recommend not checking bags, at
least
on
over.
the way over.
Yep.
On the way back, you can lose it all day long. I don't care.
Yep.
But we each had 1, if you can imagine, the small enough to fit in the overhead, and then a backpack.
Yep.
With all of our stuff for the whole week. There were people with,
It's huge.
for one person, they had these huge 2 suitcases and stuff. It was funny.
Yeah.
You don't have to take a hairdryer,
But the other thing we did pack was a collapsible duffel bag for all of our dirty clothes, and we just checked that on the way home.
So we could put this fragile souvenirs and stuff
in the hard side. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. So packing, good. We talked a little bit about shopping last time on our itinerary, but I will say, again, you don't want to shop willy-nilly or go to some stores. Like there was one particular store that was recommended to us, and our guide said, they do drugs there. Like everybody does drugs. That was kind of a funny story. But you just never know. And our guide said that they take that shit seriously. Very seriously. If you're caught with drugs, you're in jail for a long time, and that they don't even let your family visit you. Like it's terrible. Yeah. So you don't want to get into any kind of situation. And this reminds me, I know somebody who was going to do like a plant ceremony over there, right? Mm-hmm. I don't suggest that either, because it's illegal. Yeah. Don't do anything at all that could be construed as illegal. Yeah. So, in other words, you want to go to reputable shops, and the things in the bazaar, like we said in episode 1, are mostly from China. So if you're just looking for trinkets to bring home for your kids or for gifts or whatever, you can get stuff there for cheap. But if you want high-end stuff that you really can only get in Egypt, like Egyptian cotton, some jewelry, alabaster, papyrus,
Spices and
teas and
oils.
spices and oils. If you want any of those things, blue lotus oil, blue lotus tea, things like that that you can only get, and you want to make sure you're getting the real stuff, because they'll also, some people will call it blue lotus tea, and it was actually, what was that? Some sort of blue flower that looks similar.
Right.
So go to reputable places. If you have a good guide, they should be able to tell you that. So it's so funny because I thought there's really not, I didn't even want to go to Egypt in the beginning. I mean, I wanted to once I had the word that I was supposed to go, but before I didn't. So there was nothing I wanted or needed from Egypt. I didn't think I'd be buying or spending much money there.
And we brought home an entire suitcase full of stuff. So,
but we did, and it was reasonable. We didn't spend too much, but I feel like we got really cool quality stuff, like papyrus. We went to the papyrus place, and the thing about the shopping, they were curated places, one per day.
Yep.
So the papyrus at the end of the day, and I thought, I don't really need papyrus. I don't have any wall space anyway. But when you see them make it and you see how they make it, they're in store and how they take the time to hand paint it and all of this, it gives it a new appreciation. And you're like, I really want this. We connected with Sekhmet, for example, and we really wanted a papyrus image of Sekhmet. So we ended up getting that and one other one. But things like that, or alabaster, like I thought, I don't really need alabaster, but when you see how it's made and you realize the quality of it, it just adds renewed value to it. And so we brought a little something home. So we went to alabaster, we went to the papyrus, we went to the oil, essential oil, which they call a perfumery place. So if you're looking for blue lotus oil, if you're looking for
different blends or oils that aligns with their chakras.
And chakra blends, but also pure sandalwood and frankincense, pure rose oil, that kind of stuff. You can get that fairly reasonably pure. So it's not like the essential oils that we buy in the States where you just like dab it all on and it doesn't last long. I mean, this is real. You need like one drop, or you can mix it with some water, rose oil, and shake it up and stuff like that. So the shopping is fun.
Well, I will say, I mean, some of you might be asking, okay, well, you were shopping. Well, what kind of a budget did you have for shopping? I will say that the exchange rate is
it was 47 to 1.
47 to 1. So $1 of ours, $47 of theirs.
Which is meaningless unless you understand how much things cost.
Exactly. So what I'm getting at is, I think there was thousands of dollars that we spent on shopping. No, I mean, for the amount that we brought home, and the amount that we brought home plus all of the additional stuff like drinks at the bar or at the hotel, side dishes of meals that we wanted to eat while we were at the hotel, different things like that. All in all, for the entire, we did 9 days that we were gone, or 10 days that we were gone, just right around $1,000 is what we spent. So we got a lot for that $1,000. I mean, we truly did.
And you could easily spend way less than that.
You could spend way less than that. But for us, and we didn't have a budget. We just said, well, we don't really need it, but oh, wait. This is really interesting. We would like to have that, or we need a drink, or we need a meal, we need something like that. So we said we'll manage this, and it came in under what I expected. So I thought we spent a lot more, and when I tallied it up for business wise, it was a lot less. So
we also purchased quite a number of essential oils so that we could use them here in our work, for example.
Exactly.
Giving them as gifts, which are really meaningful to light workers and people that use them, getting some teas that we want to use in ceremony while we're here. So some of that we're not going to repeat again. If we go back, we don't need to get all of that again, because it'll last. Those oils last forever, really.
Right.
So the exchange rate, I don't know what's wrong with me. I can write books all day long, but I can't do simple math. I had the hardest time trying to calculate it in my head. If you said this blouse is 30% off, I can figure that out. But if you said, okay, it's 1,000 Egyptian pounds, how much is it? And in my head, I couldn't do the quick math. So you can get a little calculator on your phone that just you plug in 1,000 pounds and it tells you how many dollars.
Yeah.
I don't know why I had such a struggle with that. And then so that.
Well, because you're dealing with an exorbitant might not be the right word. You're dealing with an extreme number, right? So like you're looking at, say, a shirt on the rack, and it's 1,500 pounds. Your brain doesn't, you're like, what does it mean, 1,500 pounds? It's just, we're used to, oh, $20, okay, that makes sense. $15, that makes sense. But when you're talking thousands of pounds for something, it just doesn't compute. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like 150 Egyptian pounds would be for the tea or the cappuccino that we would get, and it was
150.
150. It was $3.
Yeah, if
like
that.
$3,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So anyway, it was just tricky.
Yeah.
And it's tricky because you want to tip, and you want to tip properly. So that's what Abdullah says right off the bat. Everybody there, they're looking to make a living. This is how they make a living, and they're not doing anything for free. So if you're at the pyramid and they offer to take your picture, doing the funny pictures with your finger on top of the pyramid or whatever,
That's 20 pounds.
they want a tip.
Yeah.
Or on the camel ride, they want a tip, or whatever it is, they all want a tip. And that's okay, because the amount of tip you're going to give them is meaningless to you. It's like 50 cents to $1, and it's a big deal for them. So you want to tip, and tip generously, but you don't want to over tip. But I think they said they make the equivalent of $180 a month is the average salary for the Egyptian. So, you want to tip well, but you need to have all these small bills.
Most of the time, you're carrying a wad of Egyptian cash, like that, and it's just, it's 50s, it's 20s, it's hundreds, it's 200s,
And when you see the ATM in Egypt, it doesn't spit out US dollars. It only spits out Egyptian pounds.
Right.
You don't really need US dollars while you're there, really, at all. And so you might want to have a few on hand, but
like a few of our people, when we were at the market, they ran out of their Egyptian pounds, but they did have 5s and 10s in their American dollars.
take that,
And you ask them, and that's one thing Abdullah would say is, if you go to the market, well,
and they say 5.
ask them, what is that? 5 pounds, $5.
Big
and,
difference.
5 US
Yeah.
or 5 pounds. And you can start from that point. So yeah.
Right. So you want to have small bills, because here's the other thing. Every bathroom has an attendant. And you see this sometimes in Europe. It's everywhere in Egypt. And that's how they earn their living too. So when people tell you, if you're going on a tour, to bring toilet paper, you don't have to bring toilet paper. They have toilet paper, but you got to pay for it. So there's an attendant there.
And you're not going to get past the attendant even if you have your own toilet paper. So just
Sometimes.
know that. Yeah.
Sometimes. So you give them their tip, they give you the toilet paper, you go in and do your business.
Right.
But I think bringing in a roll of toilet paper is just kind of a weird American thing. I wouldn't do that. I'm going to buy it from them. My God.
I mean, typically it's what? Typically
For
20.
that, you're giving them 5 to 10
Yeah.
Egyptian pounds, which is like 25 cents. Come
Not
on.
even that, yeah.
So anyway, plan to do that. In terms of the culture, we found the Egyptian people to be completely warm and friendly. Tourism is their business, so it is very safe. We talked about the tourism police that they make you have from certain countries, US, Switzerland, Japan, different countries. If you're on a tour, in your bus at all times, you have to have
And walking with you, and which I thought was
a
very
tourism
nice.
police
Yeah.
officer.
Yeah, because they actually came in handy a lot of
They
times.
would go in the rear of the group and make sure nobody was getting lost, no stragglers.
Or if there were, the market people would kind of run out into your group, they would put themselves between you and them and say, no, go away.
But it wasn't
Yeah.
because I didn't feel unsafe.
No,
But
no.
they helped the nuisance kind of stuff. And they were some of them were very funny.
Very
And we had a
funny.
good time. We had a good time with them. So we never felt unsafe. Again, the police don't take that stuff lightly, because they don't want to alienate
Right.
tourists at all. They get almost all their money from tourism. There's so many people there. Crazy, especially in the Egyptian Grand Museum. Wall to wall people.
And what did we say that Cairo has in
You
itself?
said 4 million?
I think
I don't
it's
know.
4 million, I
It was
believe.
pretty large.
Yeah. So and thankfully, we didn't have to drive everywhere. We could just enjoy somebody else driving. Wouldn't want to drive
No, don't
there.
rent a car and drive.
Don't rent a car and drive.
I don't even know if that's an option, but
I don't know. But It is, as Abdullah said, as we were driving from the airport back or to the hotel the very first night, he said, yes, we have lines, but it's not even a suggestion. It's just there. It's meaningless.
A reference point.
It's a reference point because people are just,
If there's a
it's
spot,
just,
you're just going,
Yep.
you're just going.
And
And they beep a lot so that you know that they're there.
Right.
They're not beeping aggressively per se, but they just beep, say, hey, I'm here.
Yep.
Watch out.
and it's not just cars and buses, or when we say bus, we're talking like a 12 passenger, Euro
Tons of
van.
white 12-passenger buses because they use those for public transportation.
Taxis and all that, but there's also motorcycles and tuk-tuks and all kinds of stuff just running in and around traffic. It's just it's
And an occasional donkey.
yeah,
with a
pulling a
cart.
cart. Yeah. So,
Those were funny.
Yeah,
Those were funny.
yeah.
So that was fun. Okay, so tipping, the culture was,
beautiful people.
people were so kind.
Yep.
And all of the hotel employees and everybody would just go over and above for you, whatever you needed. It was just lovely.
Yep.
We enjoyed it a lot. Did we get sick? We briefly talked about the food and getting, the thing that I was afraid of most was the digestive stuff, because you don't want to
Me
get
too.
the runs out and about when you don't have quick access to toilet paper, or you might have money to tip or whatever. And the bathrooms aren't like your home.
But that also brings up the preparedness beforehand. You can bring Imodium. You can. We had some.
So we were prepared for all of
Right,
that.
we had medicine that I had this all in my backpack on a
Yeah.
daily thing. Imodium, Pepto-Bismol,
Tums.
and Tums, and then some medicine for stomach cramping if that happens to be a thing. So all of it was on
Nobody
hand.
had that problem, really. I
Nope.
think Chris might have had it one brief day, and then I got it on the last day, so it really didn't bother me until I was home.
Right.
But in terms of sickness, we were talking about the wintertime. It was the wintertime, and you've heard that this flu season is like off the charts craziness. Well, four of the 10 people on our group got what I would think is the flu. I think one got diagnosed when she got home with pneumonia, but she ended up with the same kinds of symptoms. And then
Yep.
the other 3 had fever and the whole flu stuff, but they were troopers and were mostly able to continue and take some Tylenol. So Tylenol is another one to bring, or
Yep.
something for fever. I didn't think about that. I was thinking mostly stomach.
And I will say too, because what we also stopped, I requested a stop at a pharmacy to pick up something for upset stomach, because I had, while we were in Luxor, I had run out of, like a Tums. And even with Abdullah there, the language barrier, what I was trying to convey through Abdullah to the pharmacy person. And I said, okay, something with sodium bicarbonate, like a Tums or something like that. Well, she brings out a pack of magnesium glycinate that had sodium bicarbonate in it. I'm like, okay, I'll take that because I need the glycinate anyway. So I took that, and also some these little fizzy vitamin tablets, which I believe helped a lot too. So yeah.
And they have great, those cough drop things
Yeah.
that they have are really good. So you want to have some first aid. You definitely want to have some like bacitracin and Band-Aids in case you get a blister.
And maybe some Dayquil, NyQuil,
NyQuil, because
tablets,
a
yeah.
head cold can really derail you. And
Zicam, different things like that. What we found was we boosted our immune system over the course of probably a 2-week period before
Oh,
going.
more than
Maybe
that, really.
more than that, yeah. So a lot of vitamin C's, a lot of D, a lot of K2, just different zincs. So just really boosting that immune system. And for myself, not a thing, knock on wood. I haven't gotten sick. I didn't get sick, and hopefully I won't get sick. So
the one with the sensitive gut.
the one with the sensitive gut and the sensitive immune system, I did not. I came out.
I think you can thank me, because I said, if anybody's going to get sick, let it be me, because we know how men are when they get sick.
Oh, come on.
And I didn't want, and plus you were channeling and doing things, and
I needed my full
You needed to be.
my full abilities.
so I got the illness, but I understood it was for clearing. I needed
Yeah.
to do some clearing. So are you likely to get sick? It's really willy-nilly to know if digestively you're going to get it. And if
or even with a cold or a flu,
if-
because
if you do get the digestive stuff, do know that really it is clearing, because there's so much energy there, and there's so many past lives that are attached to that energy that it's very likely you're clearing something.
Yeah. I will say the flight to Luxor and back, they, I guess this is part of the ministry, the
Oh God.
health ministry. Yeah. So
Oh, man.
so we're getting ready to land in Luxor, and the stewardess comes out with this little aerosol can, and she's spraying it in the overhead.
Like she's spraying for roaches or
Right,
something.
and back. So down and back. And it's this.
Or like we're vermin. I just had this vision of this leper colony on the airplane, and they're spraying us down before we get out.
Yeah.
It was awful. It just shocked us, and there was like,
Yeah.
maybe it was in the fine print of the ticket, which we didn't buy because
Well, apparently it's because
Abdullah didn't know either.
Yeah, Abdullah didn't know either because I think
High
he found
flu
out later
season.
because of high flu season, and they adopted this protocol to disinfect the air. Well, we're already breathing it for an hour, so I mean, that 30 seconds that you disinfected the plane really isn't going to help. So,
that was really weird. That startled us.
and they did it on the way back.
For whatever reason, it wasn't so bad on the way back. I didn't smell it on the way back.
No. Yeah.
It was the weirdest visual watching her whip out this can of
Lysol, in essence, is what it was.
you feel like a bunch of bugs or something getting sprayed off.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't let that deter you.
No.
You can get sick. I work in a school. I can get sick working in a school. My poor daughter teaches first grade, and she's sick all the time.
Yeah.
So, and there were so many people that were sick, in fact, that on the airplane on the way home, everybody was coughing. I was already sick, so I didn't care. Otherwise, I probably would have been freaked out. But if you weren't sick getting on the plane, you were probably sick getting
But
off
for
the
those,
plane.
and I will have to give credit to those that did get sick. They
They were troopers.
They said, nope, this isn't going to stop us. The couple that got sick, they looked pretty bad at some points, but they were like, nope, we're not letting this stop us. We're
And
here.
they always had a good sense of humor
Yep.
and good mood, and
Yep.
they were fantastic.
So, yeah.
So just be prepared, because you can take some cold medicine and function.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
some Tylenol and cut the fever and do all of that. Yeah. So in terms of just timing for your trip, know that the December timeframe is the high season, but it's also the better weather. And it is higher prices, but it's still reasonable.
Yep. And just to compare, Chris, our friend, she went 2 years ago. She went mid-November, and she said it was still very hot. And there wasn't as many people, but it was hot and, very dry. So it does start to cool off pretty quickly near the end of December, or end of November, end of
Relatively.
January.
It was perfect.
November,
really,
December. Thank you.
to be in the 70s,
Yeah.
low 70s, and then 50s at night.
For us, that's our fall weather. So it was very comfortable, very beautiful.
Because as we were going up into the pyramid, I just thought to myself, in June or July, I cannot imagine. I don't know if it just stays that 98 humid. Maybe it doesn't get hotter than that.
No, Chris said it was much hotter than that
Oh,
when she
God.
was up in it. It was
I
stifling.
don't know how
she
people
said.
would do it.
Yeah.
And you just, it's too hot to go in the summertime. I definitely wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Some people go in April. Maybe that's off peak. Matter
Just
of
on
fact,
the edge. Yeah.
we've channeled about this. You can look in the monthly channelings and look at the headline.
Chris Bledsoe,
topics.
is that what you're talking about?
But Chris Bledsoe said that
Sure.
when the red eye star of Regulus shines through the eye of the Sphinx, or something like that, when the red star of Regulus shines
Aligns with the
the
Sphinx,
eye
yeah.
of the Sphinx,
Yeah.
something new on Earth is happening, and that's in 2026 around Easter time.
Yep.
In our channeling that just occurred this past Thursday, January 8th, I think,
Yes.
the Orions, Lyrians, and Syrians came in and talked about that same thing. They said that there's some energy coming around in April. So there's something going on in April. You don't have to be in Egypt for it, but I know Chris Bledsoe is actually going to Egypt in April for that reason, because he personally channeled about.
He's taking a group over there. Yeah.
So there's something happening. So if you feel a calling to go to Egypt, I would highly suggest doing it, whether with us or whoever. Just consider your group carefully. Sit with it in your heart, make sure it resonates, because it'll be profound for you.
Yep. And you might think it's like for us, it's out in December, but when we put it together in April for December, we thought, my God, that's so far out. It was there before you knew it. And then you were standing right
and
there.
as much as we tried to stand there and say, we're in Egypt, we're in Egypt, we're right, and be in the now, it just is hard to take it all in. There's still some things I don't remember.
There's so much to just take in. It's just everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then coming back here and it's like, we're already home.
Yeah.
But the memories are just so profound and so amazing. And we want to talk about it with everybody because it's exciting. So this is episode number 2. If you haven't watched number 1, please do that. Go ahead and hit the notification bell, then you'll know when the new ones come out. Please like it so that it gets a little bit more exposure, and share with people that you think might be interested or that are contemplating a trip, so they might know what to expect.
Yep.
But until then, thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time on Out on a Limb podcast.
See you guys.